Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to the daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings. And on this Cricket Happenings show, it would be the first day's play in that one-off test between Bangladesh and India, which started off yesterday at the Hyderabad Cricket Stadium. And I have to say, Bangladesh started off on the right note. The first hour definitely belonged to Bangladesh with lots of edges going here and there, and also Taskin Ahmed picking up KL Rahul's wicket pretty quickly with a very bad shot played by KL Rahul. But after that, it was once again the Indians who were dictating the terms, as India ended up with a score of 356 for 3 with 2 centuries on the first day itself. One was Murli Vijay getting on to his 9th test century, and as far as the Indian captain Virat Kohli was concerned, he got, I would say, his 4th century in 7 matches. So definitely Kohli was looking supremely confident while stroking the delivery, and Vijay was playing with his languid grace. And so that was as far as India versus Bangladesh were concerned, which I'll be talking about, which I'll be definitely looking into much greater detail, I would say. And as far as and then we'll have a look at some cricket news. Today was the start of the Pakistan Super League, where Islamabad United won their first match, and which was Brad Haddin played a fine hand in that. And also some cricket news coming our way, and also tomorrow Sri Lanka play their final one-day international to try to see whether they could salvage something out of this ODI series when they take on the South Africans. But first, as I said, it will be a report or a summary, I would say, on the match between Bangladesh and India, and it was played at the Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium, Uppal in Hyderabad. So it was India who actually had the luck, as they won the toss, and without any hesitation, Virat Kohli had his wards batting first. KL Rahul and Murli Vijay were the openers, and Taskin Ahmed was the bowler. With the very first over, Taskin Ahmed was actually spraying the ball wide outside the off stump, and KL Rahul followed it to such an extent that he actually dragged one onto his stumps, trying to make contact with the ball, and that was a very cruel dismissal, I would say. Especially, that also said that Rahul, who struggled against England as well in the test matches, continued to do so, as he played a very bad shot, I would say. It was clean bowled by Taskin Ahmed for 2. Now that was a sort of a very overconfident shot from KL Rahul. He probably trusted himself, but well, that ball could have been well allowed to harmlessly pass behind the wicket, where the wicketkeeper could have taken it. But well, that was it. So Bangladesh had great joy. They were joyous as they picked up Rahul's wicket, clean bowled by Taskin Ahmed for 2, as Cheteshwar Pujara walked in to join Murli Vijay. Now, in the next over, we saw Kamrul Islam Rabi was giving a very tough time. In fact, he was getting the ball, he was bowling some short balls, there was some good pace in that, and he was hurrying the batsman. And not only that, he was forcing Vijay and Pujara to take evasive action, as the ball was really thudding on with lots of force, almost coming on to the helmet or the shoulder. So Kamrul Islam Rabi was able to extract a lot of lift out of this wicket, which was good to see. But I would say India were already 1 down, and Murli Vijay and Pujara had their hands full, because they were really being peppered with some short stuff by both, but especially by Kamrul Islam Rabi and then Taskin Ahmed. And this was the phase of play where not only did they do that, we also saw that new ball posed a lot of problems for the Indian batsmen, as Murli Vijay and Pujara were not able to actually middle the ball at all. The ball never came off the sweet part of the bat, and we saw a lot of edges were just sneaking through, Not only that, some catches were dropped by the Bangladesh as well, and some of the edges from the Indian batsman, that is Vijay and Pujara, was unfortunately not going to hand. It was falling short, but definitely it was a session, I would say. Not in the session, I would say the first hour was completely dominated by Bangladesh with the new ball, as Vijay and Pujara found that batting was a bit tough. But then slowly Pujara and Vijay settled once Kamrul Islam Rabi was out of the attack, or Taskin Ahmed. The first change came, Soumya Sarkar. I was okay. It was just used like a just to see as to how he went. After that, the Bangladesh wicket captain Mushfiqur Rahim decided that it was time to bring the spinners on. So he brought Mehdi Hassan Miraz, the offie, and he also brought his experienced Shakib Al Hasan into the mix, and also pressed Taijul Islam into service. And then when they got a spin attack coming on to them, and that was the only time Pujara and Murli Vijay really started getting into their own, as Murli Vijay started playing some strokes with real grace, and he was also coming down the wicket to the spinners to loft them into the stands as well. And Cheteshwar Pujara was also bringing his shots well, and suddenly the picture started slowly, gradually changing for India, as Murli Vijay and Pujara started getting runs. And then after that, once the length session was over, after that it was total domination in the next session, where India added a lot of runs. And at the time, this particular partnership which came when Rahul departed very early in the piece with the score on 2, has now reached 180. So 178 runs were added by Vijay and Pujara, and we definitely saw Vijay using his feet beautifully to the spinners, and Cheteshwar Pujara also doing likewise, like playing some nice drives, nice cuts as well, as the score went on to 180. But that was the time Mehdi Hassan Miraz picked up the wicket of Cheteshwar Pujara, when he had him caught behind by a delivery which actually turned away. Was caught by Mushfiqur Rahim of the bowling of Mehdi Hassan Miraz, after making 83 with 9 boundaries. After that, the score is 180 for 2. Murli Vijay was looking very strong at the crease, as the Indian captain Virat Kohli strode out. Once Virat Kohli strode out, once he came in, he did not waste any time even settling down. He creamed 2 boundaries very quickly, and got into his groove in only the way that he normally does. And Murli Vijay at the other end was also looking solid, and the partnership slowly started proceeding, with Kohli really starting to take control, as he started playing strokes pretty easily, and Murli Vijay. And then finally it was Taijul Islam, the left arm spinner, clean bowling Murli Vijay, but not before Murli Vijay brought up his 9th Test 100, and finally Murli Vijay was dismissed for 108 with 12 fours and 1 6. Virat Kohli was still there at the crease, as Ajinkya Rahane came to the centre. Ajinkya Rahane also played very well for his 45, and Virat Kohli, as I said, was supremely confident about his players. He was stroking the ball to a nicety, and Kohli and Rahane, what they did is they actually got India towards close of play at a score of 356 for 3. Again, Virat Kohli coming in at that stage of the game at 180 for 2 and scoring a century. Look at that century of his. He was not out on Nelson, 111 of 141 deliveries, 12 fours in that. There were no sixes. So that really told Virat Kohli how he has actually kept the scoreboard very busy. And Ajinkya Rahane would also have been happy with the effort, as he finished unbeaten on 45 with 7 boundaries, as India closed the day against Bangladesh at 356 for 3, which was a very good score by any standards. After that, the bowling figures, if you look at it, Taskin Ahmed 16 overs, 2 innings, 1 for 58. He was the best bowler among the group, I would say. because not only did he do well in the first spell, even in the second spell, he looked pretty sharp too. So Taskin Ahmed is on one. The Bangladesh pace will definitely revolve, as you all know. Kamrul Islam Rabi, 17 overs, 1 minute, none for 91, gave a torrid time to Cheteshwar Pujara and Murli Vijay at the crease with the new ball. Soumya Sarkar 1 over for 4 runs. Mehdi Hassan Bazaz 20 overs, 1 for 93. Shakib Hassan bowled 13 overs, 3 minutes, none for 45. Tajul Islam, the left arm spinner, 20 overs, 4 minutes, 1 for 50, also did a good job. Sabir Rahman 3 overs, none for 10. So that was the match situation. So today India will resume at 356 for 3, and Bangladesh have to get some wickets very early, I would say, if at all they stand a chance of really restricting the Indian batting. So that's the match situation, and so now we will get on to some other cricket news. But let's go on to the Pakistan Super League today. The Pakistan Super League was played today between Islamabad United and Peshawar Zalmi. As you know, this is being played in a neutral venue, which is the Dubai at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium. Peshawar Zalmi batted first, made 190 for 9. They were led by Kamran Akmal's very punishing knock of 88 of 48 deliveries, 6 fours and 6 sixes, and 43 from David Malan of 30 deliveries, 4 fours and 3 sixes, which really substantial contribution, actually forming a part of Pakistan Peshawar Zalmi's 190 for 9. And as far as Islamabad United were concerned, they had to score 173 runs from 18 overs because of 2 overs removed. And Dwayne Smith gave them the right start with 55-49 balls, 8 fours and 1 6. But Brad Haddin followed it up with a severe bashing of the Peshawar Zalmi bowlers as he clobbered 73 of 39 deliveries with 8 fours and 3 sixes. And that was it. Watson contributing 26, a very quick fire one of half a many balls, 13 balls only, as Islamabad United led by led by Musbah-ul Haq, the Pakistan captain, won the first match against Peshawar Zalmi. So the Pakistan Super League starting off very well with Islamabad United actually winning the first match of the Pakistan Super League at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium. Now, as far as tomorrow, as I said, we are having the match between. Also, let me give some cricket news as well while I'm talking to you. The news from Pakistan is, finally Azhar Ali, there was a talk going on that Azhar Ali would be removed as Pakistan's ODI captain. Well, Azhar Ali did not wait for Pakistan to make the announcement. He actually took the onus on him, and he decided that he will quit as Pakistan ODI captain. And as you know, Australia and Sri Lanka are going to play 3 T20 matches in Australia, and Lasith Malinga, after quite a long time, has been picked to play in the T20s in Australia, and that will be interesting to see how he goes. And tomorrow, as I said, it is Sri Lanka getting one more chop at it, one final chop at it against the South Africans at the Centurion Park, to see whether they can salvage something before they leave for Sri Lanka by getting a win. So that is something coming up. And as you remember, Afghanistan are in Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe had a player, as you know, he also played in the T20 World Cup, as you would remember, or probably in the World Cup. Solomon Mayer is a very big hitter of the ball, and also a very useful all-rounder, because he also bowls very good pace as well. And he was out of the Zimbabwean team for quite a long time, and he has made it back to the Zimbabwean squad, which is good to see as when Zimbabwe take on Afghanistan. The other news that I would like to talk about is Sri Lanka and Australia. Chris Lynn is still injured, and his place has been taken by Ben Dunk, who is also another very big hitter of the ball, in the sense he's a very quick scorer, and in the he was the topper in the Big Bash League as well. So Ben Dunk is the one who has taken the place of injured Chris Lynn. And other than that, dear fans and subscribers, nothing else to really add to what I am saying right now. It's about time for me to wind up this cricket show by saying good night.